What's going on, everyone? If you like the videos I'm putting out on this channel, remember to hit that like button. And remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you get all my content right to your device every time I upload. And I thank you for your continued support. Chapter 29 of the Dragon Ball Super manga was loaded with tons of action as Goku fought Toppo, and we saw the second half of the God of Destruction Rumble. Now with Dragon Ball Super manga chapter 30, there is much more of a focus on setting up the tournament, establishing what's going to happen in the arc, as well as introducing Jiren to the Dragon Ball Super manga continuity with very interesting results. Toyotaro this month adds a few new layers to Jiren's character, which I thought were kind of cool. But for the most part, it's pretty much the same thing as the anime, as now we begin to go into the recruitment of the fighters for Universe 7. It's unclear as far as whether we'll see all the fighters getting recruited, but it is going to begin here. The Grand Priest goes over the rules of the tournament, which are pretty much the same as in the anime, so it's clear that, or at least it's likely, that these were from the mind of Toriyama himself versus it just being a Toei or a Toyotaro thing. Just like with the previous tournament, there's not going to be any killing allowed, no weapons. It's going to be 48 minutes, aka 100 attacks, and the grand prize to the most outstanding fighter, is the word that's being used here, is going to be the Super Dragon Balls. That goes to the most outstanding fighter, and like with the anime, the universes that have the highest mortal levels are going to be exempt. So universes 1, 5, 8, and 12 will not be competing in this thing. So it's pretty much identical. Lord Beerus is of course pretty mad at Goku. In fact, in this manga chapter, he smacks him around several times. But Whis points out in the manga chapter that there's no reason to be mad at Goku because Goku is actually, in a roundabout way, the savior, because these low-level universes were already going to be destroyed no matter what. Goku making this tournament gives them a chance to survive, but Beerus is not confident in Goku because he just got done losing to Toppo, even though Toppo did hit him low, and that's how he went out. Toppo's still pretty strong, and Beerus is not that confident in Goku. Now, speaking of the Super Dragon Balls, the Grand Priest tells us that Champa had already been collecting the balls, once again, in secret, and he wants them for himself as the grand prize for the most outstanding fighter. But it doesn't say that every fighter gets a wish. Only one fighter will get the wish. The question is, who is that going to be? But it's interesting because the anime version said the best fighter is going to get the wish, whereas in the manga it says most outstanding. Now that could mean the same thing, or it could also mean that it's not maybe who fights the best, but who performs the best or performs the most entertaining to Zeno. We really don't know, and we won't know for sure until the end of the arc. And like in the anime, the losing universes are going to get eliminated, so it's the same thing there. In fact, there's a conversation in the manga where Beerus is surprised that Universe 7's mortal level is so low, and Whis says that all mortals in Universe 7 average around 3.18 mortal level, which is the second lowest. Of course, based on the anime, we know that Universe 9 is the lowest. And obviously, just like in the anime, this has nothing to do with power. It has nothing to do with how strong the fighters are, and everything to do with how the gods took care of their universe, from creation to destruction and everything in between. And also, Whis does confirm that Senzu beans are banned from the tournament. They can be used after when someone gets thrown out, but you can't use them inside the tournament, which I think is interesting. But like we talked about before on a couple videos of mine, Zeno might change the rules whenever he wants, but as of right now, no Senzu beans. We are also told, which I still think is complete and utter BS, that Universe 7 only has 28 planets with mortals in it. I'm sorry, but I still don't buy that. It doesn't make any sense to me at all that there are only 28 planets in the entire universe with mortals. I don't buy it, and I hate that about Dragon Ball Super. That's one of the most ridiculously dumb things that I have heard in Dragon Ball Super, and really makes no sense when you compare it to the original Dragon Ball manga. 28 planets with mortals, I'm not buying it. Either Supreme Kai is wrong, or Toriyama just doesn't care, he forgot or something. It's pretty damn dumb if you ask me. Also, we find out that Whis and the Angels are going to survive the tournament even if the universes are destroyed. Now, what's interesting about this in the manga versus the anime, right, is that we find out that Whis and the Angels are guides that are dispatched from elsewhere, but they don't tell us exactly where these guides are from. That's number one. And number two, what does this mean about the destroyed universes? Because if there were originally 18 universes, Zeno destroyed 6 of them, where are those angels? We have not seen them. Are they somewhere in a different dimension, or did they die back then? Was the rule made after that? It's not made clear, but I've seen a lot of people already comment about this, wondering if those angels are still out there. And as of right now, I don't know. So after we get done with the whole, rules and explanation and whatnot from the Grand Priest, the universes all dispatch and go to their own place, and then the manga chapter puts focus on both Universe 7 and Universe 11, and really, that's the two main storylines and story threads with Chapter 30. They go to Universe 7, and Goku and Vegeta have a conversation about what they're going to do. In this version, Goku does not hold back, and he pretty much tells Vegeta everything. And the first thing that Vegeta suggests is to bring Senzu, but Whis says that's against the rules. However, Kaioshin says that they should recruit Majin Buu because he has healing magic, which is true. That's an ability that most folks forgot that he can do. He can indeed heal. Then they talk about bringing in the androids, the artificial humans, and Vegeta thinks that bringing in an android, an artificial human, is against the rules, but Bulma says no. She was a human to begin with, and her body was modified and upgraded to give her special abilities, so Vegeta's like, you know what, then bring in 17 too. Also, I should have mentioned this earlier, but one of the rules in the manga about weapons is that if one teammate uses a weapon, the entire team gets disqualified, not just the warrior using the weapon. That could change things going forward, because that means you can't just bring a weapon and expect to get DQ'd yourself. Everybody goes to be bringing a weapon. That was an interesting little factoid that I should have brought up earlier in the review. But anyways, back to Universe 7. So we have the birth of Vegeta's daughter, and once again, Whis helps give birth, even though it wasn't quite as wacky, I guess you can say, as it was in the anime. Whis helps Bulma give birth to her daughter, and Bulma remarks about having more kids in the future. And Whis is like, sure, I'll help you, if our universe survives. Also, Goku did suggest bringing Trunks and Goten to this thing, but Vegeta does not want to bring any kids and tries to tell Goku, do not tell Goten and Trunks about this whole thing. So then the manga chapter shifts over to focusing on Universe 11, and the whole story here is that the Pride Troopers, a whole bunch of them, are fighting this giant crab monster, but Jiren's not there because he's quelling some prison break or something on a different planet, and the crab monster has this very dangerous paralyzing gas that's giving the Pride Troopers some trouble. We then have a monologue from the Universe 11 God of Destruction, Vermouth, who talks about Jiren, and we really find out a lot of interesting information about the character of Jiren. Vermouth says that Jiren is never selfish. He doesn't even kill evil people. He's like Batman. He does not kill, but he's totally about justice, but he has one wish that he needs to have fulfilled, and the wish will go against his belief system. Now, I thought that was really interesting because that could be anything. I don't even know what that could even mean, but the whole story is that Vermouth thinks that the motivation behind Jiren is so he can get the wish from the Super Dragon in the Super Dragon Balls to get whatever the hell that is. So we've got some little clues here that Jiren may not be what he appears to be, but on the surface, he is indeed a warrior of justice. So speaking of Jiren, the Pride Troopers are having problems with this big crab monster, and Jiren does indeed appear to save the day. And this dude is so amazing that he didn't even need to go on a spaceship or nothing. He flew through space and got there to save the Pride Troopers without even needing a ship. Not just because he can breathe in space, but because he's faster than a ship. This is awesome. And of course, Jiren goes in there and he takes care of business as expected. So Toppo does tell Jiren about the tournament. And also I should mention that, much like Goku, Jiren has no interest in being a god of destruction, but Toppo is the guy who really wants that job more so than Jiren does. But Jiren originally does not want to enter the tournament. He thinks that he would rather stay in Universe 11 and protect the peace there and protect the people there, and he doesn't feel comfortable destroying other universes just to save his own. And he actually goes so far as to say that if Universe 11 gets blown up, well, that was our fate. So he just believes in that. But Vermouth arrives. He actually shows up and he tells Jiren that if you enter the tournament, you get a wish. And that's enough, just like Vermouth predicted, to get Jiren to enter this thing. But he does say that he wants to come back to Universe 11 if anything weird occurs, so we'll see what that means. That's pretty much how the manga chapter ends. To be honest, there wasn't much in there this month. Most of the information was stuff that you already knew if you had seen the anime, and most of us who were watching this and were following Super to the degree that we're doing it, we've already seen the anime, we already know the rules. Very, very little changes. A couple of extra things here and there to add layers to Jiren's character, but other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. So we'll see where the manga chapter goes next month as Goku begins the recruiting process for Team Universe 7. But to be honest with you, there's not much really to see here. Like, if you want to skip this manga chapter, you're not really missing much because there's already a little bit of new information, very little, and I already gave it to you in this video. So it was just mostly dialogue setting things up that most of the stuff we already knew about. But if you're one of those out there who's not watching the anime and you just want to read the manga, then obviously you have to get your information here. But if you're doing both, you already know all this. So it was kind of whatever. If you are new to Geekdom 101, remember to hit that subscribe button and punch the notification bell. And let me know what you thought about this manga chapter. And where do you think Toyotaro could go to make changes to make it more interesting? Some of the manga changes from the anime are good. Some are terrible. There weren't many at all. I will catch you down the road.